Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to AP Language and Composition. My name is Mr. Kozak. I've met some of you before, some of you digitally, some of you in person. And one thing I just want you to know is I'm really excited to teach you this school year, even though it's a pretty odd year, and there are going to be so many curveballs. There are always curveballs in a school year, and we're just going to figure out how to, um, you know, anticipate the pitch, so to speak. So, without further ado, let me talk a little bit about me and a little bit about the course. There will be a couple other videos that accompany this one where you get to see my face. But this really helps me, and we will definitely do a few lectures this year using slides. So, very basic about the course. It is a writing course. That means that we're really going to focus on things like audience and purpose, context and content, form and function, self expression and creativity, and learning how to use it and maybe subvert it. And yes, I am going to read off slides this year. I don't typically do that when I teach, but I feel like if you're listening to my voice and you're trying to read the words at the same time, then that gets a little tricky. So I will always read the slides to you and I'll commentate at the same time. So the goal of this class isn't just to recognize good writing, it's to become adept and to use that writing to fit your needs. Graduates of this class will go into college with a leg up, and they've really come back and told me that year after year after year. In fact, last year was my first group of students who graduated college after taking this class, and a good 5 or 6 of them come back to me every once in a while and ask me for help on a paper, or they come to me with something, and I'm so impressed with where they are. It's always a real pleasure to kind of connect with those former students, but it's also a real pleasure to see that they've really taken everything that this class is about and adopted it. And those students were fantastic. I'm sure you're going to be fantastic, but I'm a better teacher of this class now, 6 years later, than I was when I took it on for the first time. So I guarantee you, you will be adept and a better communicator. You'll be an adaptable communicator, and you'll be better than your peers on the other end of this course. So, what's required to be successful? Listen and understand the process. And the process that we're going to lay out is similar to what you've listened to in previous classes. We're really going to get to know that process. And one thing that I'll say about the writing process is that it's not exactly one size fits all, but it fits so many kinds of people that you're going to figure out how to be adaptable, and you're going to figure out how to experiment within that process and kind of make it fit for you. Um, Being open to feedback is a huge part of this course. Peer revision and peer editing and peer grading is a big part of this course, but so is listening to me as your teacher and really taking feedback and making sure that you listen to it. And even taking that time to be like, I didn't really like my grade, or I didn't like what I heard, and taking it in, taking the time to take it in, and then figuring out, well, this is what I need to take away, even if I didn't like all of it. And this is what I need to change. This is what I need to revise, because revision is the most important part of the process that we're going to deal with this year. Put in the time and the effort. This is going to be even more tricky this year than in former years. When I talk about this class being the hardest class that we offer in the high school, it's not necessarily because you're going to feel bogged down every day that you take the class. In fact, tends to be the opposite. We tend to hear that students really like this class, and they like the things that we do in this class. But it's about deadlines and hitting those deadlines and making sure that we're thinking on a timeline. And those things are really hard for high school students, especially for the types of high school students that take AP, who are typically involved in 100 different things. Maybe a silver lining of this year is that you're going to be forced to focus more on school than you ever have before, because unfortunately we don't have things like sports and I'm sure we'll have a student council and all those good things, but what does that look like and what's the time commitment like? Well, it's going to look different. And I think you're going to have more time to put into courses. But in the age of COVID, we're coming out of a summer that feels, I don't know about you guys, I feel like the summer was 4 years long, just because time did not matter. And not time didn't matter in a typical summer way, but time didn't matter and I can't really go out and do fun things. So I'm stuck at home, kind of time doesn't matter uh, way. So thinking about time is really important to that, and being alert to that is going to be important. Making adjustments is going to be important. So I'm going to do a little bit of coaching consistently throughout the school year about how to put together a schedule that kind of fits for you. And obviously, the more information we get on how the school year is going to start, the better. And then having fun. This is a class where you have to incorporate writing into everything. You have to include your writing into everything, and you have to improve your writing, and you have to take on new challenges every step of the way. So if you're somebody who sees challenges as something fun that you overcome, and that on the other side of challenges you become this more interesting person or a better person, then this is definitely a class that's going to be for you. If those are always things that have kind of held you at a distance, then I encourage you to seek the fun out of that. And believe me, the selections of the things that we read in this class and the kinds of things that we talk about, they're intellectually fun, I can guarantee you that. But they're usually pretty fun, just thinking about these things that we don't usually get to talk about in school, that now you're kind of old enough and you're taking a college course, I really start to treat you like adults. And that hasn't really happened in your education so far, at least not in large. So honors 1A AP. This class has a lot of names. At SLU, it's called English 1500 first semester, and it's called English 1900 second semester. Yeah, it's two different classes. For the AP exam, it's called AP Language and Composition. It's one of two AP tests that are available to high school students. The other one is AP Language and Literature. That's available in your senior year with Mr. Jennings. Around Afton, it's typically called Honors English 3. I think it's officially called Honors English 3 right now. But it really doesn't matter what name we go after. What matters is that all of these things offer you different opportunities. So for the Afton level, it offers you the opportunity of that GPA bump, right? For the 1.818 level, it means that your grade, your raw grade in the class, is worth college credit if you pay for college credit. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into the year. For AP, Advanced Placement Test, it means that you have the option of taking a test at the end of this year. And if you choose to take it, then you can earn college credit that way. So there are two different ways to earn college credit through this course. They are different. I have a whole video for you and parents talking about those decisions, and we will let you know. Usually the AP test, you have to decide in October whether you want to take it, and usually for St. Louis University, you have to decide, I want to say also around October if you want to take the first credit, and around February if you want to take the second credit. Again, I have a whole presentation on that that's meant for you and parents to talk about those decisions. Who am I? So you've probably seen me around. I've been at Afton for a number of years. It's actually my 11th year teaching at Afton, but I've been associated with Afton for a lot longer. I co-taught with Mr. Walker when I was learning how to teach. That was, 14 years ago now. I spent 2 years at Rockwood, and now I've spent 11 years at Afton. I consider myself a writing teacher first and foremost. It's not necessarily why I got into teaching, but the more that I saw myself as a writer, which is something I've always really wanted for myself since I was in third grade in Mrs. Priest's class, and we made a book, and I wrote about how my cat lost his tooth. I have wanted to be a writer, and that really never left me, and it got stronger in high school to the point when I graduated high school, I said, this is the thing that I want to do with my life. And I decided to become an English major because I wanted to read the best writers, kind of figure out how they did it. And, that kind of turned into a natural way that I found myself into teaching. And now I don't know if I love teaching more than I love writing, but it's certainly a close competition. And teaching writing is just pretty much my favorite thing in the world to do. And so teaching this class and teaching creative writing when I get a chance, these are the things that I'm most passionate about. Aside from teaching, I am a writer. Like I said, I recently got my MFA. I'll talk about that in a minute. Um, I've been writing short stories and essays. Currently writing a memoir that's on hold for some reasons. But I am constantly writing. When I'm in a really good habit, I'm writing every day. That's what really good writers tell you to do. And I'm very serious about that. It is definitely my artistic form of expression. I am also a reader. I skipped. I'm a cook. I love to cook. It's something I learned to do when I was in high school. My mom was sick, and I had to kind of figure out how to take care of the house for her. And I wasn't good at cleaning. She was not very happy with my cleaning efforts. But I was always really good at cooking. I could tell her this is what we want to buy at the store, and she'd go and buy it, and then I would end up making it. And then by college, I was doing the grocery shopping for myself, and I've always just been very fascinated with food. I love food, and the more that I get into food, the more I really appreciate it. Now I'm at the point where I really like French cooking. I made coq au vin for the first time this summer, and man, chef kiss, that is an amazing thing to make if you know how to make it. But I am not above making breakfast tacos just because that's all I have left in the fridge either. So I love to cook. I'm a reader. I am an avid reader. I've found that I'm pretty much interested in just about everything. Um, Fantasy and sci-fi maybe a little less. I love the classics. I love kind of getting into the headspace of an amazing writer. Um, and my goal every year is to read about a book a week. So I tend to read about 52 books a year. Um, and more or less, this year with COVID, I've been able to read a lot more. So I think I'm going to hit 75. So we'll see. I'm also a student. You're going to hear more about that, but I love being a student. I love learning new things. It's just a part of who I am. And I wasn't the best student in high school. I was pretty good, but I wasn't the best. I really kind of figured out what I liked about learning in college, and I've just never stopped. In fact, I can't really see a long stretch of time in my life where I won't be taking a class of some kind. I am a traveler. I haven't traveled too much. I've only been out of the country, I think, 4 times total. Once to London, once to Canada, very briefly on a vacation in Mexico, and then recently to Paris. The picture down there is from the Louvre. And I am just fascinated by different places in the world, and I especially like to connect something else that I love, like food and the place, or literature and the place, or art and the place. And so I'm constantly kind of thinking about something on that intellectual basis, on a consistent basis, and on that artistic basis. In fact, one of the things that I like to do that kind of calms me and makes me feel like I'm contributing to something artistic is to do paint by numbers. You see that paint by numbers up there um, of Starry, Starry Night, because it's one of my favorite paintings, and it was there. I could buy it on Amazon and paint that myself, and it felt kind of really cool to do that, even though I was just basically sketching. I'm a curious person. It always leads me to exciting and new learning opportunities, and it's one of the things I don't know if I was always a curious person, but once I realized that curiosity was key to really being invested in learning, I realized that I had to be curious in just about everything. And so pretty much anything that you show me, I'm interested in how it's made, or what makes it happen, or what the art behind it is, or what the thinking behind it is. It's a big part of who I am. So where have I been? Well, like I said, I really loved writing, especially by the end of my high school career. I started writing a lot. I realized it's what I wanted to do, and so I went to St. Louis University, where I majored in English with an emphasis in American literature, which is what this class is based on, and medieval literature. So I know a lot about Sir Thomas Malory and certain King Arthur, and know a little bit about Beowulf and some of that good, fun medieval literature stuff. Um, I eventually decided that I wanted to teach, and so I went to Lindenwood University to get my master's in the art of teaching. Did that really before I taught any courses. And then, some years went by. I was taking some courses to get certified to teach this class. And I realized that I really missed taking classes. So I went to the University of the South in Sewanee, Tennessee, this really cool place that's on the top of a mountain in Tennessee. And I spent 3 summers there getting my master's in fine arts and creative writing. And it's really one of my most favorite places in the world. If you really want to get me in a tangent, ask me about Sewanee. Um, I graduated from that program in 2019, and last summer, just before last summer, I decided to take the plunge and finally work on my doctorate. So I am currently pursuing a doctorate at Vanderbilt that's online. So I've actually been taking courses online for a year now. And so I feel like I have a little bit of a leg up on this online game, some things that kind of worked for me. And I have 2 years left until I'm Dr. Kozak, so I'm looking forward to that. Um, Definitely. And I'm very proud to be a student at Vanderbilt. Talk to me about that because I will gush about that. So since we're teaching from home this year, I'm sure you're going to see my 2 pets pop up every once in a while. Cat Sajak, he will walk across my computer screen in my workspace unabated because he does not care. And then Bark Twain. Bark Twain is going to turn 2 in October. I can't believe it. I've had him for about a year and a half. He's a little puppy, all the way the left hand bottom corner of your screen there, and he's panting and wanting to play with me right now. So I have to do that. He does have an Instagram page that you're welcome to follow, but he probably won't follow you back until you've graduated from Afton. Um, so that's just a little bit about me and my home life. I am going to ask you guys to put together something that doesn't need to be nearly as involved, but just kind of thinking about who you are if you want to put together a slideshow presentation or kind of let me get to know you. Um, Building community and really letting us know who each other is this school year is it's always important, but this year it's way more important than it's ever been. We aren't going to have that good quality face-to-face time, so I hope that you see that this is a really important thing, and I hope you appreciate everything I'm bringing to the table, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know you guys.